very, very meaningful story for us. Now, the story of frog goes something like this. There was this tiny little frog that was born inside a deep, dark well. It was born in a well right at the bottom. When the frog was born, it opened its eyes and looked around. And everything was like dark. It was a dungeon down there. I mean, insects and everything. It didn't like it actually. Because everything was so, gross down there. But it looked up. It could see that the ray from the horizon coming in, the sunlight, a thin ray is flowing in. So it looked up, and what it did was it started to jump. It jumped. It started to jump. It jumped. When this tiny little frog started to jump, all the other frogs in the same well, they came to him. They put the hand on his shoulder and said, "Stop jumping. Look at us. Are we jumping? You should not jump also. Why? Because you are born here, you're going to live here, and you will die here. By jumping, if you think you can reach to the top, you will never reach to the top. You are born here, you live here, and you die here." So when all these frogs were trying to advise him, this frog kept on jumping. Kept on jumping. Days passed, weeks passed, months passed. This frog never stopped jumping. It kept on jumping and jumping and jumping. And all the other frogs now, they used to make fun of him, they mock him, they laugh at him, they shout at him. But this frog kept on jumping. And every time that it jumped with a lot of more power, more energy. Days passed, weeks passed, months passed. This frog kept on jumping and jumping, and all these frogs kept on making fun of him, mock him, shout at him, and every time that they do that, his energy is building up. It's jumping with more and more energy. And now the frog is also getting bigger actually. It's also growing at the same time. So many days passed, weeks passed, months passed, the frog kept on jumping, and one day, this frog, while jumping, it was jumping with more and more power, more and more energy, and this time, he jumped with he took a very giant leap. And he came all the way, and for the first time, he landed outside the well. And when it landed outside the well, he couldn't believe. He looked around, everything is so colorful, everything is so green. It was experienced the beauty of the nature for the first time. He looked up to the horizon, so beautiful, blue skies, amazing. It was filled with so much happiness and excitement. But at the same time, back inside the well, there was a total silence. Because nobody could believe what just happened. Nobody could believe. How did this happen? How can this guy reach to the top? Nobody could believe, and there was a total silence, and slowly this silence turned out to be hue and cries. The frog started to cry for help. Help me! Can you hear me? I also want to come out. Do something. Pass down a rope or something. Throw a rope. I just want to climb and come. Do something. I don't like it here. Do something. And gradually, every frog inside, they started to shout for help, cry for help. Everybody was jumping. All the frogs inside, they're all jumping. Everybody realized now they can also go out. So they also started to jump and they cry for help. But they cried for help. They shouted so loudly back inside the well. But this frog outside, not even once, it turned back to see who is shouting and who is crying for help. Do you know why? Because this frog was a deaf frog. He couldn't hear. He was born deaf. When he started to jump back inside the well, and all these other frogs that they came to him and they tried to shout at him and make fun of him, and it thought like maybe these frogs are motivating me, it's encouraging me to jump. So when they said stop jumping, he thought like, oh, I should jump more. Then he kept on jumping more and more with more and more energy. And more they made fun of him, the more they shouted at him, the more motivation came in him to jump because he couldn't hear anything. And he kept on jumping and jumping and jumping, and one time it came out already. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in this industry, this is a very unique industry, but this is also a very difficult industry. When you do networking, as a networker, men, women, in DXN, you come across a lot of people in various forms. You'll come across a lot of situations, lot of circumstances, day by day, month by month, in many forms. They come and tell you that you cannot become successful. You are not meant to become successful. What do you think? Freedom? What does it mean? You're going to earn lakhs through this business? Not possible. Don't dream about it. You want to be crown ambassador? You must be joking. You can never become a crown ambassador. Women, stay home. Don't ever feel like you can become successful. How many of people have become successful in your family? Nobody. You too cannot become successful. So many people are going to steal your dreams. Do you all have a dream, by the way? Do you all have a dream?
Yes.
Do you all have a dream?
Yes.
Hold on to your dream. It is your choice whether you want to listen to these circumstances, these people, and do what they want, do what they're asking you to do, or don't listen to them. Pretend to be a deaf frog and keep jumping. 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 And keep jumping until you become a crown ambassador. Until you achieve that financial freedom in your life. Until all your dreams come true. And that is possible only if you keep jumping and jumping. Despite any situations, any circumstances that comes along to you. Do not let anybody steal your dreams. That could be from your family, your neighbors, your friends, your community, anybody. Do not let anybody steal your dream. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. You are in the best company, best vehicle. Do not doubt that. This is the best company. You don't have to worry about it. What he's trying to tell me is that this 3,000 is not a good idea. It is going to collapse the market. It is going to make members lose their income, lose their bonus. Many people are going to leave, and DXN Peru is going to be collapsed in the months to come if you are going to launch 3,000. So he was requesting me not to introduce 3,000 PPV in Peru that time. It was a very long email. Of course, I'm not that a person who writes long replies, So I thought of inviting him to the office and talking to him. So I asked the office to call him up and ask him to come to the office so that I can talk to him. So they summoned him to the office. And when he came to meet me in the office, he came with a very thick file. This thick file. And he put the file on my table. And he told me, Mr. Prajit, please go through this file. Everything is there. I've done a complete research on this 3,000 PPV, A to Z. I've studied from various different angles, and I'm telling you, this is going to be highly unsuccessful. It's going to be flop. So please don't introduce 3,000 PPV in Peru. So I said wow, such a thick file that you have brought. But let me ask you one thing, and you have already, spoken your words. Let me ask you, how do you know about 3,000 PPV? Have you already tried this? He said no. Then how do you know about 3,000 PPV? Have you already been through the situation of losing the business because of 3,000 PPV? He said no. Then how do you know about 3,000 PPV? Without even trying, without even seeing what exactly it is, without even going through the phase of trying this, you have already jumped to a conclusion that this is already a failure. That's not good. You try something, you experience it for a few months, and then you come to me. That makes sense. So I told him very politely, take this file and go back home. We'll implement this and you go through this. Try this. You do this yourself and you make all the star agents also do it. Campaign about it and try this. As what I'm saying, I've tried this for 6 months, and after 6 months, you come to me. You come to me, and then we can have a talk about this 3,000 people. That'll make all sense for me. Otherwise, at this moment, what am I going to talk to you? Because you do not know what it is. You did a lot of research based on your whims and fancies and a lot of hypothetical situations. No, this is not hypothetical. This is real. This is reality. No, we implement this and we try this and see how it works out. So let's do this. He took the file and he went back home. 6 months later, I was expecting an email from him, but he did not send an email. So I always consider no news to be a good news. But after 1 year, he sent me an email. And this time it was not a very long and lengthy email. It was a very short email he sent me. In that email, what he wrote in the email was very simple. Thank you, DXN, for introducing 3000 PPV. Thank you so much. My members are very happy. My star agents income has gone very high. They're very excited. There are many diamonds in my network because of this 3000 PPV. Everybody is happy. My whole network is very happy. But what makes me so happy and so excited is because of this 3000 PPV, I am qualified for the TSI travel seminar for the first time. I've been trying to qualify for a long time. I couldn't, but because of this 3000 PPV, me and my wife can now go to Malaysia. He was super excited. The email was all about gratitude. Very short email, but that is 3000 PPV. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a very simple question. If you're going to launch 3000 PPV, are you ready for that in India? Yeah. Are you ready? Yes. We are already doing that. Give yourself a very big round of applause. Must